This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hi, welcome to the Sound of Gold. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new, then welcome as well. I do the show for you, and I do the show for musicians and music venues, music teachers, music schools. And my passion and my heartfelt purpose for doing this is I want to be the voice to keep music alive. Music is so important in our lives. It is so important. Everywhere we go, we hear music. Even if it's not like the radio music, when you're outside, you hear a breeze, you hear the birds singing. They're different sounds. And to me, that's music. More so, focusing on instruments and playing music is even more important, because it's not only beautiful to hear, but as a musician and as a teacher to teach music, it's a craft, it's a trade, and it is something that we grow with. And it's not like making a peanut butter sandwich. Like you have the bread, you have the peanut butter, the jelly, you put it together and it's done. And you have your sandwich. With music, there's more than just the peanut butter, jelly, and bread. There's so many layers in music to learn, and it's never ending. It's a lifetime commitment to learn, and as a human being to begin with, and adding music to that, it's just like a step above just, I don't know, to me, being a musician, just learning more about music fills my soul. And, with that said, and I teach piano. I think it's so important, especially in today's day and age, and as we're moving forward in the years to come, generations looking forward, we want to keep music alive. We want to keep music alive in studios. We want to keep music alive at music venues. And I'm not going to give away my age, but it's fun playing. It's fun being out there. It's fun teaching. However, the younger generations are the ones we want to focus on. They are the ones that we want to help develop and grow into musicians that we want to continue to listen to. So in order to do that, we need to keep it alive. As a teacher, as a professional, we want not incorporate, but we want to inspire. Right? We want to inspire each other. We want to inspire generations, younger than us, and we want to make an impact. So, with that being said, I want to focus a little bit more on the public school systems today on my show, and I want to. I already did. I invited the president of the Art of Piano Playing to our show today. And Dina, are you backstage? Are you here with us?
I'm here. Hello. Hi.
Hi, Dina. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So the Art of Piano Playing. Well, first off, even before I always love to introduce my guests, because you've taken the time out. I want to know you. I want to what is your journey to playing? I know you play piano or you teach piano. What began your journey to bring us to where you are today? Because there's so much we have to talk about today, and there's so much to share. So if you would be so kind.
Sure, sure. I would say it's rather a long story, you know. My background goes back to northern Russia. My parents are from Ukraine, but they immigrated, you know, in the times of the USSR to north of Russia. That's where I was born and where I grew up. And I went to a music school there. The Russian music education consists of 3 steps. So I started actually started late, I would say, unlike a modern trend, where you can see students playing at 3 and 4 and 5, like little Mozarts. I was pretty well aware of what I was doing, at the age of almost 9.
Okay.
And I was dreaming, living under the piano, literally. I was smelling the keys. I love the wooden smell of the keys. I had an upright piano.
Nice.
And yes, and so I attended the music school, for 7 years. Then I went on a couple of hours, away from the place where I grew up to study in the music college for 4 years. So this was already another serious step towards, more professional education, because I realized that I am bit by the bug,
Yes.
all it took, it's really, my parents showed me a tape of a very famous musician. It was a pianist. His name is Svetoslav Richter. It's a Russian pianist and composer of the old days. And when I saw him sitting in front of this gorgeous grand piano in a quiet, atmosphere of a beautiful hall filled with people that are like amazed, and they're looking at him and they're waiting for him to say the word, musical word on the piano by starting with the first note. That was it. I'm still having chills, like even knowing about this. So once I saw that magic happening on stage right in front of me, that was it. So I got myself through, school, and nobody really had to insist on me practicing. I was doing it for hours and hours, and that's how I got through all my schools. After the 4 year college, after a lot of heavy competitions, abroad and domestic, after a lot of scholarships and mayor awards, I went on to study in Moscow. That's where I went to. It's, I would say, legendary school. It's a Gnessin's Music Academy. So there was
Okay.
two rivals in Moscow. There are, the Moscow Conservatory
Yes.
by Tchaikovsky and the Gnessin's Academy. That's where I spent another 5 years of studying. So a lot of studying, a lot of competitions, a lot of practice rooms.
Yes.
So that's
Wonderful.
what brought me eventually to the United States, where
Okay.
yeah, where I went to Eastman School of Music, and I completed it's a, I guess, considered second master's degree
Okay.
of years. So more practice, more collaborations, being around a lot of pretty famous musicians, collaborating with them, performing. It was amazing. Just an amazing journey.
Oh, I'm honored to know you. There's so much I didn't know.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
so wonderful.
you.
So, what I have so many questions.
Okay.
What I had mentioned before you got on was being the voice and being an inspiration in the public school system. And for our listeners who are listening, the reason why I said that, and I feel silly, but I'm going to say it. Dina, you're like, I mean, I'm my own boss, but you're also one of my bosses, because I teach. I work with you to teach in the public school systems, and there's been so much, I think, in so many ways taken away from this public school systems, that you are the president of the art of piano playing. Tell us a little bit about how you um, came upon creating that. And I know it's not only here in Florida, but it is here in Florida, but it is also in New York as well. So I'm
Yeah.
asking a lot at once.
Yes, it is in New York indeed, and I'm right now in New York. Actually, it's pretty chilly
Oh,
here.
okay.
That's why I'm wearing a sweater.
Oh,
Yes. So it started around 2012, and
okay.
it started with a studio. I was always passionate about teaching, and I knew it's very important, to pass on your passion and your education and your experience to the other generations of children. And it's basically started with my overgrowing studio that I
Okay.
couldn't handle anymore. When you become a popular teacher, and students love you and you do recitals with them, it just overgrew pretty quickly. And that's how it ended up in more of a school setting.
Okay.
And then I started to think, why is the piano class, why does the piano class should be limited to just a private class,
Yeah.
just to select few, where all children should be privileged to be able to read those symbols on the page, not just a few that actually take private classes. So that's where I got an idea that maybe it's time to bring music to schools where children are, because not
Yeah.
everybody can afford, right, a private piano class, or
Yeah.
has time to travel to the teacher, or time after school. So it only made sense, to go into a school. So that's how it started. Started with a couple of schools, and then we just grew in New York City, and now we're in Palm Beach County.
Yes, which is wonderful. And
Thank you.
it. I know a little bit about like overseas, and I have family in Europe, and I know like my cousin's a piano player, and I know I've learned of friends in like England, and there's different. It's a different approach when it comes to the schooling for music.
Hmm.
Right? It's not the same as it is in America,
Hmm.
or at least how I was raised. I had my, the private teachers, and it wasn't something, it wasn't an option in the public school system.
Right.
So I love that it is an option now. And in what ways, somehow we got connected over the years. And in what ways do you kind of advertise through the public school system to get attention for families to sign up?
So first of all, I want to comment. I'm very happy we met,
Yes.
and I look forward to even collaborating even more.
Yes.
Um, but the way we do it, so we approach a school, and we sign a contract, and we advertise. We bring flyers to schools, actually.
Okay.
So those flyers, we call them backpack flyers. So they go into teachers' mailboxes, and then they end up in folders going home with the students.
Sure.
So I imagine that once a student comes home after the classes, their parents check the folder and they see our little flyer, advertising. So that's how they sign up.
Okay. And then so you have Palm Beach County,
Yes.
in New York. Are you in New York City? I mean, for our listeners, I don't know, people are tuning in from everywhere. So for both New York and Florida, tell us how, if our listeners want to connect, or maybe, want to make it possible for their children to sign up.
Okay, yes, that would be great. So yes, so it's in New York City, it's in Manhattan, Queens, and Brooklyn. And in order to sign up, they can go on our website. I can, if I am allowed to say the website,
Yes, yes,
or it
please.
will be. Okay, it's art. It's www.artofpianoplaying.com, and they can always give us a call. And if, let's say, their school does not offer a similar class, they can always raise our awareness, and then we will approach the school and try to see if we can set it up in their school.
Oh, I love it. And what feedback? You've been doing this for a while now. Or actually, let me go back. So in Palm Beach County, do you have the same contact information as you would in New York? It's just one website, so either New York or Florida can go to that
Yes,
website and contact.
yes. We have a couple of phone numbers. So one is for New York, but they are both right in front of me. So it goes to the same place. So
Yes.
we're happy to receive a call on any number, whether it's New York or Palm Beach County.
So I know for the time I've been working at some of the public schools, for our listeners to know, when we teach at the public schools, it's usually, from my experience, one class one teacher, and then as many as how many? 12 students, would you say?
So I would say it's between 8 and 10. So we
Okay.
try not to overwhelm anybody too much. It's we
Mhm.
keep try to keep it small just so
Yes.
every student can get, equal attention and time with one instructor. And we also provide instruments for the class and headphones so they can work individually and, practice their assignments, and also materials are provided. So we always say just bring yourselves. You don't have to bring anything to the class, and everybody's welcome. Beginners, students that been doing this for a while, because our teachers, they're experienced and they know how to handle multi-level student groups at the same time. Yeah.
No, what, okay, so the students, I'm going to kind of pretend a little bit that I don't know. So, because I want our listeners to
Sure.
know more. So we have a class, right? Let's say I'm teaching the class. I have 10 students, and then the material that okay, they don't have to bring anything. What would your suggestion be, though, if you're, let's say, teaching the student not just the black and white keys and the names of the notes, if you're starting to develop, maybe teaching a song or teaching, how to practice that, and maybe they don't have an instrument at home yet, or maybe they have an instrument but you're not sending them home with any type of material because their brain is doing 10 different things, and sometimes you come back the next week and you're doing the same lesson. So I'm not sure if I'm asking the question correctly, but what would you recommend as far as having the student follow up at home? What you just taught them, but they have nothing
Sure.
to look at.
Right, right. So what we do actually, when somebody signs up for the class, we send them a welcome email with a
Okay.
whole packet. We do have
Oh,
attachments there. Yeah. So we follow our special curriculum that we've worked out over the years that
yes.
works in that kind of setting that covers beginners. And once students finish the ABC stage of songs, and they're ready to read music notation and start learning, the treble clef and the bass clef and the notation little by little, we switch them usually to the Piano Adventures by Faber, which is a
Yes.
fantastic method.
Yes, it is.
Yes, so we attach the link for that so parents can maybe purchase a book, and eventually buy maybe a keyboard for the house practice. We always do recommend that because obviously, if you practice, if you solidify what you learn in class, your progress is faster. So,
Yes. I remember specifically one of the boys who stood out the most, at the end of the class, and it's usually the ones that give you the hardest time. At the end of the class, the whole class, he didn't seem like he was in his own world doing his own thing. But then at the end, he goes, I need to get me one of these books," he says.
oh.
So, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if it maybe more emphasis on the parents, printing out the work, for the kids, so they
Right.
have that to go home to, so they're not.
Mhm.
Um, it just seems like some of the kids have been. Not everybody's on the same page.
Right, right. Well, we try to, cover everybody. We send an email with all the attachments, and we even follow up with the text. So please go
Right.
see your email. But everybody has a busy life, so things happen.
Nice.
So we do remind, after a couple of sessions that, hey, we sent you an email, get the
No,
materials.
no.
But there
Also, I'm
definitely
sorry.
room. No, it's all right. There's definitely always room for improvements, right? How to
Yes.
carry and relay certain information to the parents to make sure they do learn, they do progress. Yeah.
Excuse me. I do want to mention that for our listeners is that when we have these classes,
Mhm.
they're not like a year long. They're only a few weeks. right?
Yes, that is correct. So what we do, especially in Palm Beach County, so in New York it's a little different, and I will cover New York as well. I'll start with Palm Beach County. So we do it in 3 trimesters usually. So we start at the on the last week of August because, as we know, Floridians start going to school earlier, around August 10th, 12th usually, and we give them a couple of weeks to get into the swing of things, and then we start, our we call it piano club classes at the end of August, and they run until December. So it's usually on average about 11 sessions, right? Depending on the holidays and the calendar.
Yes.
Then the next one is from January to March. Oh, I'm sorry, December. Oh, I made a mistake. So it's August to November. So it ends just before Thanksgiving. This is our current session, actually, that we are running right now. So it will end before the Thanksgiving. And then the second one is from December to February. And then the last one is March through May. And so what I always say, that's just enough, classes, good amount of classes that gives, let's say, a beginner a good understanding on what this is all about. It gets their feet wet, and if they like to continue, let's say after 10 to 12 classes, they can finish right at the, let's say, ideal conditions. Let's say this is a fantastic group. They all behave, they all pay attention, they all practice at home. So I would say in 10 to 12 classes, they should be able to finish the ABC, the pre-notation type stage, right, of the curriculum. And after that, so for the next session, the next trimester, they should be able to start reading music notation so they can continue. And a lot of students do, they just
Right.
follow from one trimester to the other. So you see, we enroll a new group because we do want, all students to try this class, or at least as many as possible. Again, because the number of seats are limited to only, 8 to 12, 8 to 10 students. So we want, as many children as possible to try this class to see if they like it or not. But we do see a lot of students just follow us, from trimester to trimester. But then eventually, they realize that, okay, they learned a certain amount of basics, and they say, well, now I want to do a private piano class, with that teacher that was teaching the group class. We get that a lot. Um,
What age do you start with? Excuse me. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So usually we say that the class is best suited for grades 1 through 5. In schools where we are able to open up 2 days, we usually separate, grades 2 to 5 on one day, and the second day we open up to kindergartners and first graders. So we group them more together because it's more ideal, development wise and level wise. It's best if they're grouped like that.
Okay. And then at the end of the year, is there any like recital?
So what we do actually, we used to do some schools. We used to do open classes where we would invite parents to observe the class. This year, we actually changed it to a video update. We do a couple of video updates throughout the session, but we realized that not everybody can come, unfortunately, because it's during the day, it's afternoon, people work, and some students get upset because some parents would come and have that proud moment, and take videos and photos, and some students would get upset that their parents didn't make it.
Right.
And in some cases, we don't want to traumatize anybody because some children get a little nervous,
Yes.
their parents are here, like, where have they been the whole session? They started to show up at the end, so they get nervous. So we decided not to intervene into the school life too much and just
True.
focus on sending video updates, which parents seem to love.
Yes, and then they're not as nervous, like you said.
Exactly, exactly. And we do offer recitals, but that's for private students. Actually, one is coming up on December 13th. So
Okay.
it's going to happen. Yes, yes.
In
We
New
do it.
York or here in Florida?
So it's in Palm Beach. Yes, in Florida.
Okay.
Yes. We do recitals in New York too. This year we're skipping one. We're doing one in the summer. Yes.
Are we allowed to say where the recital is, or is it private?
No, we can say it. It's I I forgot the name of the church. It always happens in the same one, but I never remember the name. It's exit 71, and if anybody's interested, I don't know if we can run it as a text somewhere as a comment. But it's open to public actually on December 13th at 1:30 a.m.
At
Uh,
1:30 p.m.
find out. Hmm?
p.m.
Yes, PM. Yes.
Yeah.
Not AM. No, it's too early.
And so I'm getting a little off topic, but are there a lot of performers for the recital, or do you just have specific private students that are doing that?
It's open to anybody. You know, we sometimes get approached even by students that don't really belong to our school, that don't study with one of our teachers. And we say, sure, we want to give an opportunity to anybody. And, you know, usually it would be a student of a teacher that does not do recitals. So
Okay.
they do want to participate in something, you know, because they look forward to it. You know, they practice hard all year, and this is something that gives them, you know, stimulus to look forward to, you know, and have that proud moment and, you know, play for their friends and family. We also give them a little present at the end of the recital. Take
Aw.
a common photo, you know, in front of the piano. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
For our listeners, what would be for students that have not taken piano yet, or that have not been introduced to a music instrument, but they're a little afraid maybe to step into the world. What would be your words of inspiration to encourage students to come forward and try?
Hmm. That's a good question. I would say, you know, for me, it stemmed out of inspiration by my family. So I guess who knows better than the parents, right? They
Right.
know their child the best, like what they like, maybe what kind of songs, what would be that little key for that particular child, right? So I've had, you know, numerous students over the years, and it all worked very different for each of them, you know.
Yes.
So some, you know, girls that I was working with, they love Disney songs and they love singing. So
Yeah.
a parent buying them a karaoke microphone did it, you know. Then they
Right.
wanted private classes, you know, they wanted to study. And I'm sure if it was offered in their school, they would run into it, you know, they would join.
Sure.
Um, Another student of mine loved Russian music. He loved Rachmaninoff. And
Yes.
before even his fingers started to run, I gave him as a gift for his 10th birthday a huge portrait of Rachmaninoff that he put in his bedroom on the wall.
Oh.
That was it. That was like he was bit by the bug right there, you know. Went to Juilliard, you know, so and
Oh,
story goes on.
wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So
So
I've learned over the years, when families are involved with the practicing with the student, not so much with the student, but encouraging and being a support in the music world, especially when they're starting out very young. It's so important that the families are more involved. And then I want your feedback on this too. But then I also have, me personally, have had students that they're playing because mom said that for them to play, but they have no interest at all, and they don't even practice or give the time of day to anything. Because for me, I've learned, if the child is into it and wants to learn the instrument and wants to move forward, no matter what their age is, they tell you, right? And then as they get older, they grow more. again, this is my experience. And then the kids that are not, that they're doing it for the parents, they're just not going to learn the same way. Have
Yes.
you had
Yes.
this same experience?
Yes, I would say yes. And I agree with you on that, the parent involvement and the family support, it's definitely very important. It's
Yes.
definitely, all that encouragement and celebrating even small results, it gives them, that excitement about what they're
Yes.
doing, so that's why, we do, videos and recitals to support them. It's hard, I would say. I don't know what I would do, honestly, in a lot of my colleagues and a lot of my friends that went
Yes.
to conservatories, and they're teachers now. I don't know what I would do in the world of all these, social media and technology around me. We didn't have anything. I grew up without a phone, even a home phone. We didn't have a phone home. Um,
Yes.
a computer, forget about it. So there's a lot of distractions they have to fight these days. A lot of immediate gratitude, right? You press the buttons there.
Yes.
Piano and any other instrument, it's a lot of dedication, it's a lot of patience, it's a lot of patience, right? It's a lot
Yes.
of not an immediate result and a lot of scale backs, right? One day you practice and you sound fantastic, the next day what happened, right? You have to start over.
Yes.
So it's hard, it's hard. So yeah, I guess children that, if you feel like it's their thing, they need to really give it a good try with the support of the family. And for some, maybe it's not their thing. Maybe they're good at something else, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I would say try, right? So parents do the right thing. I gotta give kudos to the parents. They try. They give them into sports, they try swimming, tennis, and music, and see where they're at,
Right.
and then determine what they want to invest their time into and effort.
Absolutely. And yes, uh, it's a funny thing as a parent. I mean, my daughter's grown up, but it's a funny thing being the parent, because we think, we're going to make the decisions for them and they're going to do this and this, but really, like, the children have their, even so young, they have their own kind of idea of what they like and what they don't like. So it's almost like you have to give in to, okay, you like, this is what you like, so,
Yes.
and support that in that. And you also said something so important. In today's, the children of today are growing up with so much distraction. I mean,
Hmm.
even as adults, with the technology and all that is available, it is so distracting. It's almost like, I'll make a joke, like, the dog that watches the squirrel outside. It's like, oh, here's the bone. Oh, wait, there's a squirrel. Well,
Yes.
so there is so much distraction for the kids. So I love the fact that you've made this possible in the public school systems in 2 states. I hope that you get to be in other states as well, because it's so important to focus this discipline, because that's really what any instrument is to learn. Is it's a discipline, and it's almost like you need to make an agenda for your practice time, but it's a discipline. And
Yes.
and it's just so much harder in our day and age, where
Yeah.
there is so much to be distracted by. Um, so how do we make that? Um, how do we inspire and motivate younger generations to stick with an instrument and play? We want to make it fun, right? We want the
Yes.
family books are fabulous, and there's so much to teach. It comes down to, yes, the discipline and the focus,
Yes.
and we
Def-
don't want to lose that for the next generations to come, because
Definitely.
how
Yes.
how do we keep it alive?
Yeah, and it definitely helps, with overall school performance, even attention, and it develops that part of the brain, right? All the creativity. So, but I think really, um, to inspire them and support them is really to find the key for each child. And we do have fantastic teachers that do that. They have a lot of experience and they see you know, um, see child, and they know what key to pick, you know.
Yes, yes. And in the classroom setting, you said it also, each child is at a different level. So when you have a teacher show up and then meet the kids where they're at, it's almost like a little bit of a juggle. But then once you develop a more of a relationship with understanding where the child is, then
Mhm.
you can kind of work with them. Um, it actually does take a little bit of extra time to kind of meet everybody's needs because not everybody's at the same level. So, you know, I
I,
do
I
know.
I have to, I'm sorry, I have to mention that actually most students, most of the time, they're all beginners. So
Yes.
that makes it easier. Sometimes we do get students that, already know a little bit about it. So we don't want to throw them back, obviously. We want to build on that. So we do specifically ask parents, please let us know if your child already knows, maybe how to play some songs, or they read music notations. So just so we preserve that experience and build on top of it. But most of the time, I would say 95% of time, they're all, beginners.
And for our listeners, could you please share with us, is it during the day? Is it after school? Is it for an hour, 2 hours?
So usually it depends. So in New York, it's 45-minute classes,
Yes.
and it is generally it's after they complete their day at school. So in Palm Beach County, it's typically between 2:10 and 3:10. So once the bell rings, right, at 2 o'clock, they get dismissed, and then they go to, to find our piano teacher in the school. It happens right on premises if somebody doesn't know, so they
Yeah.
don't have to be brought anywhere. It's very convenient, as we say. So we come straight to the schools.
Okay. And so it's about 40, almost, well, in Palm Beach County, it's an hour. Uh,
It's an hour class, yes. Hmm. Yes.
and then, so the parents are emailed uh, the, let's say, the booklet or the program of what the children will be learning within the three or each semester.
Yes.
For, let's say, this semester is ending, then we have the next semester of piano club. Will the parents have the same Faber book information, or they send something new?
Are you talking about a student continuing from one trimester to another, or it's you talking about a new student?
I would say just the class itself. Like the class ends and then a new class begins.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes children go into the new class. So do they start with a new book, or it's kind of the same?
They continue in the same book, let's say,
Okay.
because if they started to read music notation in the previous trimester, we want them to continue with that same book.
Okay.
Or maybe if they're just about to finish it, we'll give them the next level.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Um, all right. So tell us again how we get in touch with you. So for our
Sure.
listeners out there.
Sure. So it's our website. You can go on our website, which is www.artofpianoplaying.com. You can also give us a call. Our number is 646-221-7518. That's for New York City. Or in Palm Beach County, it's 561-876-0293.
Thank you. What are your I don't know if aspirations is the right word to use, but um, are you looking to expand maybe into different counties?
We are looking into it. Yes, it's a lot of work, in to maintain and run everything. But
Yes.
hopefully one day, yes, we're looking to expand into other schools. Yes,
Well,
we
I
want
love it.
more children to benefit from these classes.
Yes. I love that you're keeping music alive, and I love that piano. I know as one of your teachers, we have, for our listeners to know, we bring the keyboards to the school. We
Yes.
bring their roll-up keyboards. They're easy to use. They're easy for the teachers to handle because we have a cart that we bring it with us, and we set up for the children. So the children, as you said, don't need anything.
Mm-hmm.
Provide the keyboards, the roll-up keyboards.
Right, right. In some schools, we actually do have digital keyboards that we leave on premises. This is again only regarding Palm Beach County. In New York, they're all digital keyboards and they're
Okay.
already at schools. Seems like there's a little bit of a difference between the school board in Palm Beach and New York. We're hoping that one day, Palm Beach will allow us to leave digital keyboards at schools so we don't have to carry our roll-ups. But it must be some security purposes, that they don't allow the digital keyboards in some schools. Not sure, but
Yeah,
one
good.
day, hopefully. Yeah, but they seem to work fantastic. They teach all the basics and, they work very well.
So backpack flyers, right? In the public school systems, are
Yes.
they provided, let's say, the first week of school, would you say, in the public school system?
About that, yes. Yes, we want them to go home with, that information. And, by the time we start classes, we run a registration. We give usually parents about 2 weeks to sign up so
Okay.
they have time. Yeah.
And for
And
our listeners that might be just joining now,
mhm,
this goes, you mentioned it earlier, first grade to fifth grade.
correct.
And then depending on different levels, we just make it work as a group.
Yes, yes. And again, in schools that give us 2 days of class, which is, we're very thankful if we can come in an extra day.
Yes.
We try to separate in that situation because it's more ideal, to group grades 2 through 5 on one
Yes.
day and kindergarten and first grade. So that opens up this class to a kindergarten because they can take it too. It's well suited. Our curriculum is well suited for kindergartners as well.
Nice. Now, for our teachers out there, if they want to connect with you and teach in the public school
Yes.
system, which I will also say before I have you answer, as a teacher, you become a part of the public school system. You have to go through the process of, the different ID, the different.
Yes, a badge, yes. Background check and fingerprint.
Yes.
Yes, this is normally what's required, to start working with us in the school setting. Yeah.
And then I know as a Palm Beach County school teacher, I work with you, and then I have my, my not certification, but my badge, like you said.
Yes, yes.
That's very important. And so for people, parents listening out there, you can feel safe with the teachers we have because they're not just
Yes.
randomly off the street.
Right. Not just nobody's. Yes, everybody's checked. Yes, and educated and experienced with children, patient and sweet people, and very inspiring teachers. Yeah, we have a great team. I'm blessed.
Well, you're wonderful yourself. So
Thank you, Lisa.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share with us? We have a few minutes. Is there anything you'd like to share for our listeners to maybe tune in or have their kids maybe ask at their public school system or mention it if it's not already offered?
Yes, definitely. Yes. So I want to thank all the parents that given students this wonderful, opportunity to study music. We believe as musicians and teachers, we believe it's extremely important. It helps in overall school performance. It teaches discipline and patience, especially in, like we covered, today, this day and age of technology and the distractions. So I want to thank parents for understanding that it is important. And if you know that your school does not have this particular class, please let us know. You can contact us again. It's www.artofpianoplaying.com or by phone numbers 646-221-7518. And that's for New York City, and for Palm Beach County 561-876-0293. let us know if you would like your school to have this class, and we will reach your school and organize it, hopefully.
And like you said, the parents, I mean, if the kids are going into aftercare anyway, or the parents are picking them up, it's already at the school. The parents don't have to take
Yes.
them anywhere. They don't
Yes.
have to wait for anybody.
Very convenient. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. So we do have some what we call car riders, especially here in Palm Beach County.
Yes.
But there's also a good amount of students that do go to aftercare, so they're already at school. So this is very convenient. It's like we say, it's in New York City too. You don't have to bring your child through the whole town,
Yes.
somewhere to meet with either a music studio or
It's
teachers
convenient.
place. It's very convenient. Yes, yes. And the costs are different than, let's say, a cost of a private class. And it still gives them an idea, and they still learn the basics.
Well, thank you very much, Dina, for being with us today. The Art of Piano Playing, you can find it online. And yeah, I mean, I mentioned this yesterday, and I mentioned this before. I was at an event yesterday, but I mentioned it yesterday, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. Learning music is a gift you give yourself, and it's a gift you give your children when you invest in them taking lessons, even if it's at this level, at the public school system level, and not private lessons. It's more convenient, and it's accessible. Is it? If I can say that word right, it's
Yeah.
accessible and easy. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so
Exactly.
Dina, thank you so much. We will be
Thank
in touch. I will talk with you soon.
thank
And
thank you for having me. It was fun.
yes, absolutely. Thank you for being here, and stay warm in New York.
Thank you. Will do. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Thank you. We'll be in touch
You
soon.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that would like more information, as we said, the art of piano playing is easy to find online. And yeah, if you haven't thought about it before, maybe now is the time to think about it. Kids, grandkids, ask them if they're interested in taking some piano lessons at their local public school. We make it easy, or Dina makes it easy for the kids to sign up. And other than that, I'm going to play a little bit of piano as we finish up our show today. Everything is, in my world, about music. There's so much we can do when we learn. We learn to focus, and we learn to be disciplined with learning an instrument. And for my listeners, you don't necessarily need to have a piano. You can always get a keyboard, or start off with even a roll-up keyboard. Thanks for tuning in today. I look forward to our show next week. Tune in to find out who our guest will be next week.